If you have opened Claude and felt a little lost, this video fixes that. We are going to go through every option, so by the end, you know exactly where everything lives. Let's get into it. You can access Claude with the link given in the description. Sign in with your Gmail account, which is the easiest option available, and you will land on this screen. Start with the sidebar. On the left side of your screen, at the top, you have the New Chat button. Click it and you'll get a completely blank conversation. No memory of what came before unless you have memory turned on, which we will cover later. Right below, that is search. This searches across every conversation you have ever had with Claude, plus your projects. If you know you asked Claude something last month but can't remember where, this is where you find it. Next, chats. This is your full conversation history, listed newest first. Every chat you start outside of a project lands here automatically. Below that, projects. A project is a dedicated workspace. Think of it as a folder that remembers things for you. Inside a project, you can add instructions Claude follows every single time. And you can upload files Claude treats as background knowledge. So you never have to re-upload or re-explain the same thing twice. This is genuinely one of the most underused features on the free plan. Next to projects, you will find artifacts. This is a separate library of everything Claude has built for you as a standalone piece of work. Documents, code, interactive tools. Anything Claude creates in a side panel can be saved here so you can find it again later without digging through old chats. Right near those, you will also see skills under customize. A skill is a ready-made set of instructions Claude follows for a specific type of task. Things like building a spreadsheet a certain way, formatting a document to a template, or following a repeatable process you use often. Anthropic ships some built-in, and you can also create your own. Once a skill exists, you don't have to explain the steps again. Claude just applies it whenever the task matches. We'll come back to this in a bit. So now, let's talk about the message box, where you actually type. This is where your model selector. On the free plan, you'll see Claude Sonnet and Claude Haiku here. Sonnet is the balanced, capable option, the one you'll use for almost everything. Haiku is faster and lighter, good for quick, simple questions. Opus, the most powerful model, is reserved for paid plans. So if you don't see it, that's expected on free. On the left side of the box, there is a plus arrow followed by paperclip icon. That's for attachments. Upload a PDF, an image, a spreadsheet, anything you want Claude to read and respond to directly. Next to that is your tools menu. This is where you turn on web search so Claude can pull current information instead of relying on what it already knows. While we are in that same area, there is also connectors. Click the plus button in the message box or go to customize, then connectors, and you can link Claude directly to outside tools. Things like Notion, Slack, or Google Drive using something called MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol. Once connected, Claude can pull information from that tool or take actions in it right from the chat without you switching tabs. Some connectors even open as a small interactive panel inside the conversation, so you click through things like a task board or a document without leaving Claude. On the free plan, you get access to connector directly plus one custom connector of your own. Paid plans lift that one connector cap. Once you send a message and get a response, look underneath Claude's reply. You'll see a small set of icons. Copy, which grabs the text instantly, a retry or regenerate icon, which asks Claude to try again, useful if the first answer missed the mark. An edit icon on your messages, letting you revise your original prompt without starting a new chat. And a thumbs up or a thumbs down, which sends feedback straight to Anthropic. Now, the artifact panel. This opens automatically on the right side whenever Claude creates something substantial, a document, a chat, a piece of code, a small interactive tool. If you want to keep an artifact permanently accessible, there is a publish button which adds it to your artifacts library in the sidebar we mentioned earlier. Let's go back to projects for a moment because it deserves a proper look. When you create a new project, you will be asked to name it, and then you are dropped into two key areas: project instructions, a text box where you write out how you want Claude to behave for everything inside this project: tone, format, rules, whatever matters to you; and project knowledge, where you upload reference files, past work, brand guidelines, research, anything Claude should treat as a background truth. Every new conversation you start inside that project automatically has both of these loaded in, so you stop repeating yourself. Let's go back to skills for a proper look since it's easy to miss. Open the skills section from the sidebar and you'll see a list. Some built in, some you have created yourself. Click into any skill and you can read exactly what instructions it's following. To use one, you can select it directly, or in many cases, just start a conversation that matches what the skill covers, and Claude will apply it automatically. If you find yourself asking Claude to do the same kind of task, the same format, the same steps over and over, this is exactly when it's worth turning into a skill, so you stop repeating yourself. Now, settings. Usually found through your profile icon or a gear icon inside. Look for capabilities. This is where artifacts, web search, and file creation can be toggled on or off at the account level. Then there is memory. When it's turned on, Claude can recall details from past conversations, your preferences, your ongoing projects, without you restarting them every time. You can review, edit, or clear that's remembered at any point. There is also a style setting where you can set a preferred tone or formatting style that applies across all your chats. And under that, privacy, you will find controls for data retention so you can decide how your conversations are used. One more thing worth knowing: since we are on the free plan here, free already gives you a lot: Sonnet, projects, artifacts, memory, web search, file creation, skills. What you don't get on free plan is the Opus model, unlimited projects, and a few standalone tools built for heavier daily use. Upgrading to the paid pro plans adds a few specific things, and it's worth knowing exactly where they show up. First, Opus becomes selectable model right in that same model dropdown at the top, alongside Sonnet, giving you Claude's most capable model for harder reasoning and deeper analysis. Second, your project's limit open up. Free accounts are capped at a small number of projects. Pro removes that cap. Third, a new tool appears called Claude Co-work, a desktop agent that works through files and multi-step tasks on your computer directly, separate from the regular chat window. Fourth, you will see a research option in the tools menu, which runs as much deeper multi-step search across many sources instead of single web lookup. And Pro also adds Claude Code for anyone doing terminal-based coding, voice mode for talking to Claude instead of typing, priority access so you are not waiting during busy hours, and early access to new features before they reach everyone else. Everything else you have seen in this video, the sidebar, the message box, the artifact panel, works exactly the same on both plans. Paid just gives you more model choice and more room beyond the limit. And that's the entire interface, sidebar to settings, panel by panel. If this saved you some time digging around, the free interface map guide link below breaks all of this down into a one-page reference you can keep next to your screen. And in the following videos, we will cover all these features in detail, how they can be used in your daily activities, including the personal space as well as office space, and how that can reduce your workload and save hours per week. So see you in the next one.